Golden statues decorate the closed entrance, and dozens of metal faces look upon you, ready to shoot their deadly syringes into your heart and inject the potion of unliving. They are waiting for the revelation. You take out the flute and begin to play, and as it turns out, it was the right flute and the correct melody. The resonators scream and the gates open to reveal a library. The library you have been searching for years. The library containing the most precious secrets of the ancient Dwemer. An Animunculus approaches you and greets you with the words, "I am ArdysLoreLibrary, keeper of this knowledge. Congratulations, you have proven yourself by opening the gate. Now, please sit down. Let me tell you about my master's ancient magic and the birth of the second time god, the first child of counter-creation." And with these words, I welcome you to this video. Today we'll talk about the Dwemer, especially about tonal architecture and the purpose of the Numidium. But before we start, I want to apologize for not uploading the past few weeks. The reason being my birthday in November and some private things that required my attention. With that said, let's go straight into the topic. As I said in my video about the dragons, tonal architecture is similar to the Fume because both alter reality through sound and are entirely paramaic. A sound is created by a wave. In other words, through change. And change is a paramaic aspect. But how is it possible to manipulate reality with sound? It is possible because known reality is based upon vibration, change and waves. The Dwemer understood this, and that's why they focused on tonal architecture. It is important to note that tonal architecture is not connected with magic. Magic comes from Ethereus and is entirely anuic. I won't go into magic in this video, but if you cast a spell, you draw upon Anu, the eternal everything, and create something to overcome a limitation. If you cast a spell of invisibility, for example, you aren't changing reality in the conventional sense, but you create a mantle around yourself, a mantle that essentially copies the background. You can compare it to Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility. Tonal architecture and the Fume are different. They manipulate reality itself through vibration, or to be more specific, by creating a resonance. Now, what is a resonance? A resonance is a connection between two different things established by vibration. Everything has a base frequency. If you play an instrument at the same frequency as the object, something interesting happens. The vibration becomes stronger and the amplitude becomes larger. That's why you can destroy glass with sound. Glass, like everything, has a natural frequency. Let's say the frequency is 2000 Hz. If you create a sound at the same frequency, a resonance is created and the glass starts vibrating. Or more accurately, it reaches a level where you can actually see the vibration of the object. If we turn up the volume of our sound, the amplitude of the glass will increase because the amplitude of our sound has increased as well, until it reaches a breaking point. If this breaking point is reached, the glass will shatter. Theoretically, it is even possible to reverse this effect and create instead of destroying something. The Dwemer used this technique to manipulate reality because everything has a base frequency, even time and space. Remember my little storyteller from the beginning of this video? In that I described how a resonance gate of the Dwemer actually works. You may remember the resonance gate from Skyrim Dawnguard, in which you had to hit these giant fidget spinners. After hitting them, they produced a sound, and if you hit them in the right order, the gate opened. That's a resonance gate, and it is opened through sound. But the Dwemer used tonal architecture for other purposes as well. One of these purposes was the manipulation of time and space. In ESO Greymore is a quest where you are tasked with repairing a Dwemer resonator in Blackreach. this defect caused a lot of problems, like teleporting things and beings around time and space. One of your AI companions, for example, is teleported into the 4th era, and he witnessed the eruption of Red Mountain. But why is time affected by tonal architecture, you may ask? After all, time is an inuit concept, and because of that, it does not have a frequency in the conventional sense. Well, not so fast. The concept of time Auriel created is vastly different to the concept of time we know. Look at Ephirius, the birthplace of Auriel. Time is stagnant there. Everything happens at once. Past, present, and future don't exist in Ephirius as a concept, because the domain of Anu is the everything. Past cannot exist without present and future. The present cannot exist without past and future. And future cannot exist without past and present. There is no passage of time or anything like that. There simply is existence. Auriel's concept of time was designed to create existence in a sense. The void is the complete opposite. Padme is limitation, and the void is essentially a realm in which nothing can exist on its own because the limiters are basically set to 0. The only exceptions are Padme and Sithis, since both of them are above the limiters. The concept of time could only be created by Auriel because of the interplay. To quote the monomyth, Satak was the first serpent, the snake who came before, and all of the worlds to come rested in the glimmer of its scales. But it was so big, there was nothing but. And thus it was coiled around and around itself, and the worlds to come slid across each other, but none had room to breathe or even be. And so the worlds called to something to save them, to let them out. But of course, there was nothing outside the first serpent, so aid had to come from inside it. This was Akel, the hungry stomach. Akel made itself known, and Sata could only think about what it was, and it was the best hunger. So it ate and ate. Soon, there was enough room to live in the worlds, and things began. Zatak is the Yukuden version of Anu, and Akel is the Yukuden version of Padme. It needed both of them to create the possibility to be, and the creation of time by Auriel can be seen as a reaction to Padme's influence and destruction of some parts of existence, or denial of existence at all. As I said in my video about the dragons, Anuic spirits cannot create proactively, only in response. But Auriel does not control time, not entirely at least. That's why Daedric princes are able to use the concept of time and create their own version of it. Auriel may have created the original concept, but on the Shivering Isles, for example, it is controlled by Sheogorath, not Auriel or Akatosh. The same principle applies to the mortal plane. Mandas may have been a group project, but it is Lorcan's domain. To once again quote the monomyth. But when Trinamak and Auriel tried to destroy the heart of Lorcan, it laughed at them. It said, "This heart is the heart of the world, for one was made to satisfy the other." So Auriel fastened the thing to an arrow and let it fly long into the sea, where no aspect of the new world may ever find it. Time, as we know, is largely Padmaic, and because of that, it is possible to manipulate it through vibration. Same thing for space. The Dwemer realized this, and their experiments resulted in the Numidium, the pinnacle of their ambitions and research. What is the Numidium? This colossal mechanical monster is their attempt to achieve godhood. Like tonal architecture, it was designed to control reality, and especially time. This is why every activation of the Numidium caused a dragon break. Remember the quote about the heart of Lorcan being the heart of the world? That heart was found by the Dwemer in Red Mountain, and they decided to use it. Chief Architect Kagranak designed 3 tools to manipulate the heart: Graveguard, which was designed to protect the user from the power of the heart and the other tools. Thunder, which was designed to split or sunder the heart. And keening, which was designed to channel and direct the power into the desired direction. If you have listened closely, you realize that these tools were designed to create a resonance with the heart of Lorcan. Waveguard was designed to protect the wearer from the resonance effect, because this effect works in both ways. Creating a resonance results in the amplitudes of both objects rising until the weaker object explodes. To prevent Kagrenak from exploding, Waveguard was forged. Thunder was created to strike the heart and produce the exact volume and quality of power desired, which sounds like it was meant to create the desired amplitude, if you ask me. And finally, keening, which was supposed to use the energy released from the heart to power the Numidium. It is unclear what happened at Red Mountain, if Kagrenak succeeded in some way or not, but I believe that he failed and doomed his entire race, with the exception of Yagrum Bagan. Some say that the Dwemer collectively achieved godhood in Zero Summed, because they realized they were part of a dream but could not rationalize their own existence. However, I believe that Kagrenak hit the heart without wearing Waveguard out of frustration, since the Dwemer were losing the Battle of Red Mountain, and this resulted in the destruction of their entire race. The resonance created was too strong, and without Waveguard to protect them, they were blasted out of reality. But how did Yagrum Bagan survive? Now, I believe that he was not connected with the other Dwemer because he was in oblivion during that fateful day. At this point, it is important to mention that most Dwemer were connected to each other, some through telepathy and some through mechanical devices. But the important thing is that they had to be connected through a certain frequency, because telephones didn't exist. Even the mechanical devices had to be somehow connected through mental frequencies. And this connection resulted in the disappearance of the entire race when Kagrenak created the resonance. It is also important to note that the Nerevarine will die after a short time if he equips Keening or Thunder without wearing Waveguard, but not the last Dragonborn. This may be the result of a reverberation. At some point, this reverberation died down, and this may be the reason why the last Dragonborn can touch Keening without being killed. However, the heart of Lorcan was destroyed by the Nerevarine, or more precisely, it was Thunder. The heart was crushed by the resonance, and the result was the creation of the Heartstones, found in Skyrim's Dragonborn DLC. Now, before we come to the end, I want to talk about the curious case of Anilgain. As many of you will know, he tried to recreate Kagrenak's experiment with the help of a modified Soul Gem, Keening, and the last Dragonborn. After hitting the Soul Gem several times with Keening, he disappears, and the last Dragonborn gets the strange power of conjuring his ghost. The obvious question is, what happened to him? I believe that he replicated the resonance effect, and since the Soul Gem was stronger, Anilgain was destroyed by the resonance. However, because the power of the gem wasn't nearly as strong as the heart of a god, he wasn't completely erased from existence. Instead, what remained of him and his soul transferred to a host, because the remaining soul was not able to exist on its own, neither in Mundus nor Aetherius or Oblivion. And this host was the last Dragonborn. So he became basically a part of the Dragonborn soul, but that's just a theory. However, with that we are at the end. Please leave a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and write your opinion in the comments below. Travel safe, and may shore be with you.